Forget the final score. That 27-13 loss to the Green Bay Packers was just a bad game. I mean, it wasn't just a bad game. It was a full-blown red alert. While a lot of people would tell you it's just a week one stumble from a team coming off a legendary season, the film and the stats tell a much darker story. We're here to break down the shocking numbers and critical mistakes that suggest Detroit might just be facing a crisis, and they're only one game into the season. This wasn't just a loss. It was a total system failure against a divisional rival. After a season where the Lions looked practically invincible, they walked into Lambeau Field and looked lost, disjointed, and completely outcoached. And as we're about to show you, the box score doesn't even come close to telling you how bad it really was. Let's get into it. Welcome to Blue Collar Blitz Podcast. I'm your host, Maverick.
There you go.
We're back for a second show this week. We're doing 2 shows a week. We're going to cover college, and then we're going to cover the Detroit Lions. And the mood going into this second show, it's not that much different than how it was when we got done talking about the Michigan Wolverines.
Michigan L, Detroit Lions L, MSU win. Like it, subscribe to Blue Collar Blitz. Y'all be cool. Peace out.
So as you guys can see, Big O is not really in the mood to talk football because the 2 teams that he roots for the most lost. And, you know, I'm kind of 50-50 on the week. Let's start off with this offense, though. We knew going in losing Ben Johnson, there were going to be some changes. There were going to be some adjustments that we needed to make. We weren't sure how good or bad they were going to be. And then the news started to roll in this summer. We lose Frank Ragnow. We lose Zeitler. We draft Tate Ratledge. Glasgow moves to center. Mahogany has to step up and start. We're kind of iffy. We're like, we don't really know what the O-line is going to look like. I, for one, when it comes to the preseason, I don't like the fact that we don't give our starters at least 1 or 2 series that last game to kind of get comfortable. And we kind of saw what happened. I can't say for sure that that's exactly why we lost to Green Bay, but I would have liked to have seen them get a little bit of play in there that last preseason game. Our offense is supposed to be the strength of this team, and they looked terrible Sunday.
Yeah.
We our 2-headed monster with Gibbs and David Montgomery, they came away with 44 yards on 20 carries. That's 2.2 yards per carry. I don't think you can beat any foot. Do we have any records on the team that was able to beat someone with 2.2 yards per carry when the run game is your strength?
No. I mean, the bottom line is, they got punched in the throat. I mean, the
throat, the gonads, the butt.
Green Bay punched them straight in the mouth on this game. I mean, the O-line was not as dominant. You know, defense was. I mean, it was just not good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we knew what the situation was going to be. They lost to, 2 coaches. So, I mean, we knew it was going to be something different. But
right,
they don't have enough words to put with, because I don't want to say, man, it was like the old Lions, because it's only the first game.
Right.
Know? But like we said, it's always in the preseason. I don't understand why they don't give them at least that last game, or even if somebody got hurt, one of the preseason games in the middle, so they can, just get adjusted to it. Only game they have is playing against themselves. Of course, they're gonna win every time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is not good.
And I know people. For anyone that didn't watch the game, you may be looking at the stats and you're like, well, Jared Goff looked okay. 31 for 39. There might be some delusional people that say Jared Goff looks okay because, we had a lot of people this summer that said he's worth $70 million next year. But I digress.
That wasn't me.
But I digress. But
and me too.
31 of 39, 225 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. And you can't just look at that stat line and say, well, that didn't look too bad. It looks terrible because a lot of those completed passes were dinks and dunks. I mean, he threw for an average distance of, I think it was 4.2 was the distance on his throws versus Jordan Love throwing for an average of like 11.1 yards when he was throwing down the field. So, yeah, I expect you to complete passes if you're throwing them, 4 yards at a time, and then our players aren't able to make plays. The thing that concerns me is this O-line, the fact that we can't get a running game going. And I knew with Green Bay getting Micah Parsons, it was going to kind of, be a game changer. But they lost their D tackle. They lost a very good D tackle. So I'm like, we should be able to run up the middle, right? Wrong. We couldn't run up the middle. So I saw Ratledge get beat, a few times. That's to be expected. He's new. I'm not really overly concerned about him. He's a great player. I watched him play in Oklahoma. Not worried about him. He's getting his feet wet. We'll go forward from there. The thing that was alarming to me and should be alarming to pretty much all of the Lions fans is the fact that we were number one when it came to scoring in the red zone. And we scored one touchdown in 4 trips. And that one touchdown was in garbage time. Think about that. Let that sit for a minute. You were the top team in the red zone. You make it there 4 times. You get a touchdown in garbage time. The other 2 times, 2 field goals and an interception. That was the interception that Goff threw. Add up the total points that were left on the board if you actually scored touchdowns, and you win this game by a point. Mm-hmm. That's where I'm not saying that they don't need to tighten up in other areas. I need you to come away with more than 13 points in 4 trips in the red zone and a pick. We got to figure something out. I watched the post game with Campbell. One of the guys asked him, well, do you feel like you should have got Tesla more involved earlier in the game versus at the end? And he said, they wanted to, but he was sick last week, so he missed a lot of time on the field, and they didn't want to throw too much at him. Throw everything at him. The dude is a beast. Like, bro, he's a receiver. Like, I don't know too much that you could throw at him that he would be like, I didn't know you wanted me to run a quick slant right there. Like, being sick doesn't mean you can't study your playbook. And okay, so he couldn't be on the field. I played receiver. If I miss practice, you tell me what the play is, and I step right up and we get it done. I don't like that you kept him out of the game because you're like, he missed some time because he was sick and we didn't want to throw too much at him. Throw the book at him. Throw everything at him. You traded a receiver away, preparing for him to step up and take the 3rd spot. Put him in there. Yeah. Other than that, Campbell, always a class act, and he's always going to be honest and positive and upbeat. He took accountability and was like, it was on me, unlike Sharon Moore of Michigan, who blamed the players and said they need to execute. Dan Campbell took accountability and said, it was on me. So I respect that. I like that. We're going to have some growing pains. I don't want to sound the alarm right now and say same old Lions, which I know a lot of people are saying that. Honestly, I feel like anyone that says that probably didn't really watch the game. Right. We were hanging out in Royal Oak this weekend to watch the game, and most people were talking and drinking while the game was on. They weren't even paying attention to the game. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It was a very weird Sunday for us to be opening our season up and to just see that it was kind of like a ghost town and people weren't really paying attention to the game like that. Like it was.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. Like, but people weren't into it.
Only time, that's the one thing about Detroit or Michigan fans, period. If we not winning, they not into it. It's not like.
But we hadn't even played yet. It's week 1. You should be excited. This is the most excited you should be at the season until you see what happens. And people were just kind of like, it's a Lions game. I'm here eating nachos.
Right. But that's just how it's always been. It doesn't matter if it's if they win 3 games out of the year, those 3 games is the hypest that, Michigan fans are.
Yeah.
The rest of the games, they like, they're losing. We can enjoy these drinks and order me another Strong Island and
Right.
They forget about the game.
It was just, I guess that's bound to happen when Green Bay scores 10 points in the first quarter and you don't score anything, so your attention goes elsewhere. But I don't know that.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I'm not gonna lie, because I could be one of those fans. I mean, if it wasn't for having to basically work, for this, a bit of time that if they were getting their butt kicked this bad at halftime or whatever, I'm like, I'll take my bill.
Yeah. You probably wouldn't finish it, but because we're running the podcast, you're like, we got to watch the entire game.
Right. So I'm like, I'm like, I'd have been like, I can finish watching this crap when I get home.
At home, just leave at halftime.
Right. So
we need y'all to come out and we got to do better, man. We got to do better. But going back to the game, the red zone is the most alarming thing for me. And then you look at Green Bay, and they scored touchdowns 3 out of their 5 red zone trips. So they got to tighten up in the red zone. So, shout out to Goff and Coach Campbell for, taking accountability and saying they got to get better. But there were other glaring issues in this game as well. Would you like to?
My glaring with anything, I can't believe the first game Goff threw a pick. I mean,
I can.
No, well,
I can.
Well, I'm shocked that he didn't get as many picks last year, but last season he started throwing the ball a little bit straighter. To get that game, he started throwing like he was when he first got here, and it scares me. Those that doesn't work for me. So
yeah.
It just.
I mean, it wasn't just one play that lost us the game, though. We made a lot of critical errors, at the worst times. Every time we were able to grab momentum, there was a flag, a holding penalty. You have a chance to make a third down stop, and you get a penalty, and it gives them the first down. There was no one thing that was like, this is why you lost the game. Now, another thing that I'm sure Lions fans witnessed was 0 sacks.
Yeah.
0 pass rush. As we said about, Michigan's D-line when they played, or no, not Michigan's D-line. Michigan State's D-line when they couldn't get to the quarterback. Jordan Love had time to have a cup of coffee and read the newspaper as well back there because he was untouched.
Well, they definitely got to cover Goff way better than they did this game as well. But Goff did some dumb stuff too. Like that one, I think it was in the fourth. He was just running on the side like it ain't somebody behind him running about there.
He's not the most athletic, so that I expected. But I'm talking more about the fact that we couldn't hit Jordan Love. We couldn't do anything. We could not get a rush.
No.
If you don't get pressure, you can't expect your secondary to do much. My phone was going off the hook with people sending me texts like, Terrion Arnold is trash and this and that, and what's going on with the secondary and this, and I'm like,
well, if the communication ain't working, I mean, they got to clean up their communication on the secondary as well. Look, communication helps.
It does. You know what else helps? Sacks. Like defensive pressure, tackles for loss. The Lions had 2 tackles for loss. Green Bay, on the other hand, 9. So, it's like I said, it's not just the one thing. There's a lot of things that need to be cleaned up. And I walked away from this game because, I always think about the draft and free agency. I walked away from this game knowing that a lot of fans were pissed that we didn't get a DN. Going into this upcoming season, and this is my one game panic mode statement. I don't want to see a skilled player drafted in the first 2 rounds. I want a center and I want a DN. I don't care what order you get them in. I don't care if you got to trade up to get them. I don't want a skilled position. I don't want a skilled player in the first 2 rounds of this upcoming draft. I want a center and on a DN.
You know, we're talking like this is the end of the.
It's not the end.
I mean,
but I'm always thinking of the future. So all of this can be altered as the season goes. But
Lions
we knew we needed a center anyway because Glasgow ain't gonna stay forever.
Right. But
I just think it's more urgent now.
The Lions still control their destiny for the NFC. You know what I'm saying? They still control it. It's only the first game. Of course, like I said, this loss is a gut check. So their response going to have to be, they're going to be stronger for the next game. We got to see what's going to happen. Because right now, of course, everybody looking like, oh, my God, you know. Because, one, Green Bay is one of the teams we usually beat. So, but we knew what was going on. Especially they picked up Mike. So, I mean.
I just wasn't as I was concerned because, yes, it's Micah Parsons, but they lost their D tackle. He was not like a trash D tackle. So I'm like, okay, 1 for 1. Like, you stepped up with the linebacker, but, you know, there's a weakness in the middle now. You ain't putting Micah in the middle. You putting him on the edge.
Yeah.
And so for our O-line to get beaten and the run game to be non-existent, you can't really expect much. I get it. And a lot of people are like, we want that explosive play from Ben Johnson. You can't get all of that unless you get the fundamentals down. If we're averaging 2.2 yards per carry out of 2 different running backs, there are no explosive plays to be had. We played very conservative, but you got new players in there. You got to slowly, feed them the playbook and make sure that they're executing. But I'm not panicking right now, with the exception of the red zone stuff. You got to make that happen. You make it to the red zone. You aren't that bad if you made it to the red zone 4 times. I just need you to finish once you get there. And I need Tesla to play the entire game, sick or not. Sick the week before or not. Like, put him in there and see what. It can't be any worse than what happened this week. I mean, he gave you your only touchdown in garbage time. Maybe he can give you a couple more in not garbage time. Like, I don't know.
Right.
So I don't know, man. That's all I got. That's all I got with this game.
Well, I mean, the loss. I don't know, man. This loss wasn't the end of the world. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to, like I said, you got to protect Goff a little better. They're going to lean on Montgomery and Gibbs a little bit more, and they got to clean up the defense. You know what I'm saying? After that, I mean, we got to, we'll see what goes from there. This is the first game. Was it a gut check? Of course. Maybe.
Absolutely.
Maybe this is what they need because they are leaving from from last year. Maybe they need this kick in the gut to know we got some other things we got to do. We got to clean up. We got new coaches that we got to listen to. They got their own swag with stuff, and we got to go from there. If they look at this like, oh, here we go again, we in bad trouble. So we have all the key players. People came back that we didn't have that's healthy. We got Hutchinson back. I mean, we're good. I mean, we have a good football team. Now we have to show people that we are a good football team. We can't let this Green Bay L mess our whole season up.
I agree.
It's only game 1. And that's how I got to look at it.
I agree. All right. So the big question is, was this just a week 1 blip? Or is this the start of a deeply concerning trend? After the game, Dan Campbell tried to project a sense of calm, saying that the mistakes are correctable, and maybe he's right. The Lions got to tighten up on the O-line. We got to fix the run game, the mental mistakes, and the discipline. We got to get it. We got to get it tight. So the Lions now, they head home for an opener against the Chicago Bears, and that's a game that suddenly feels like a must-win to stop the bleeding. This is a critical test. Can this coaching staff make the adjustments? Can this team find the discipline that it was so clearly missing? Or is the magic of last season just a flash in the pan? This loss at Lambeau was more than just a 27-13 defeat. It was a warning shot. And how the Detroit Lions respond will tell us everything we need to know. For Blue Collar Blitz Podcast, I'm your host, Maverick.
I'm Big O.
What's...
Because I'm Big O.
We'll see y'all next week. Take it easy.